and his wife denied him of that last wish.
Wow.
I was really hurt by it because I know his children would have liked to see him buried here, but I think it was his last wishes, and he knew he had children and family, but he wanted to be put to rest by his father and his grandmother, and he was denied a lot of things in the past 10 to 11 years, where Miss Dodd, Norma Dodd, had willfully crossed his name off the will, and he's had a long battle with, and myself, because I've stood by my brother and believed that my father would never ever have done such a thing. Although there was disputes, he loved his son.
It's a very sad situation that we on the outside are looking on the inside played out in what we consider to be our royal reggae families. And the story that you're telling, Morna, is a story that seems to be playing out over and over again in the lives of our foundation artists. We're talking about from Bob Marley to Peter Tosh to John Holt to Sugar Minott. It's a repeat story of disunity, disharmony. Instead of building on the legacy of these great producers, performers, artists, there is acrimony in fighting over the estate. There are no words that I can offer you because I can feel your pain. I can, it's coming off in waves. And I know right now you're grieving, so thank you so much for taking the time out to come and share your pain with the Conduit listeners. That is just one of the aspects why you're here today.
Yeah.
And you felt that you wanted to address this issue. What's going on with the estate of your father and your brother now? And also Norma Dodd, which is your father's wife.
Well, in the beginning, we were never read the will. Norma took the will and ran off with it and put a signature to say my father had crossed off the will and initialed it so she could discredit my brother off the will.
What do you think her motives were for doing that?
Stupidity. That's all I can say. Greed and stupidity. Lack of understanding. She could not see the bigger picture. I believe what I used to call her Aunt Norma, should have done is call us to the table and say, children, this is what your dad wants, this is his wishes. She herself could never have respected my father in the fact that she did not grant his wishes, that this company should have been split equal. It should be running together. That was his dying wish as well. And
that the family would take on and run the...
That's correct.
Which is Studio One.
Which is Studio One. Carol is worse than the mother. She wants it all.
Who is Carol? For the Conduit listeners,
Carol
explain.
is a daughter of Mrs. Dodd.
And your father.
And my father, that's correct.
Right. Okay, so I don't like to use the word stepsister, but okay. She's your sister.
She's my sister, that's
all
correct.
Right, I understand. So do you think all of this is being driven by greed?
Greed and stupidity.
Because they're not looking at the bigger picture.
No, I think it's like they feel they're chickens who hatch the egg, or they've got the egg and they want to sit on the egg and think the egg is going to multiply. But what will happen, she will lose it. Like in the Bible, the talent was taken away.
So it wasn't used wisely.
Yeah, because it was not used wisely and taken away by whom? Who's going to take it? But that's what Carol needs to be aware of, because... she malices me, and it was really terrible at the funeral because she basically...
She was at the funeral?
She was at the funeral, and the atmosphere there, I was really in tears. But I stood it out because I love my brother unconditionally, and I don't care what they wanted to feel, what they wanted to do. You know, his soul had left his body anyhow, so if you want, they wanted to play mockery with his body, get on with it, because I felt his pain, and I still feel his pain now, that he was denied his wishes, and they're saying that my brother told only me. He did not only tell me, he told several people his wishes, and there were certain people he would not share certain things with. But the fact that myself has been with my brother throughout the journey of his fight with Miss Dodd, and I've gave him a lot of encouragement to say, fight, don't give up the fight, and I also helped to finance it, and it's put me in a very bad situation, but I believe so much in God. He will reimburse us, so...
So, Carol, I'm sorry, Morna.
Oh, please.
Yeah.
Naughty.
Slap. Slap.
Harder.
Because you know what? We have spent the last 2 hours driving around New York, and we've been talking.
That's
so
right.
I feel as though I know you a lot better than had you just come into the studio blind. And this is a fight that's been going on for some time. Why do you think that your brother was targeted in the way that he was?
Well, he was the heir to the throne because his name is Clement Seymour Dodd Jr. He's a first boy. We are the first children to Mr. Dodd, and they know my dad wanted his legacy to be carried on mainly by his first children. I don't think he ever hid it. He did love my mom, and my mom loved him, but because of the women, Mom said she couldn't continue in a
with
relationship.
that life.
No, she said, I'm too jealous. I'm far too jealous. And she walked out, and she migrated to England. She took us, as my father would say, I fought for you. I did not let you all go just like that. We should not know that's true, because she took us out of nursery, Junior out of school, Claudia from school, and myself was brought back from the country because I was living with my father's aunt, who we felt was in an excellent position to bring me up, wishing I was brought up excellent. And
Took off to England.
yeah, Mum loved us too, so it was like, I know it was a tug and war love. And he always expressed to me that he did love us, and I know he did.
But you knew your father. It's not as though he was out of your life.
No, we kept contact, but I
Right.
think they would like to throw it in our face. We didn't grow with him. We knew our father very well, and we had lengthy conversation about his desires and what he wanted. When Junior migrated back to New York in 1981, Miss Dodd made Junior's life unbearable, and that's where the division came in between my
So
father.
she was in Jamaica at that time, or
No,
was she in
New York.
America?
It was in
she
New
was
York.
in New
Yeah,
York.
that's
Okay,
right.
so that's when the friction started,
the
because
division.
she saw it
Yeah.
that he was coming now to interfere with her control over your father and his estate.
Well, I don't really know if it was control, but I know she had this envy that my mom gave him the first boy, and he was named after him, and my father loved him so much, and he wanted Junior, because he said to me, if my mom hadn't taken Clement Junior, he would have been able to understand him. They would have known each other's personality, but there was like that sort of division, and I think a misunderstanding. I think that's the word I'm looking for. I think many times Junior wanted to show my father that he has his talents, but because they didn't understand each other, and Miss Dodd played that.
Devil's advocate.
That's right.
So she was there to
rip
force
us-
that wedge.
Yeah, rip them apart.
Oh, right, because it served her purpose.
Yeah, it did
That they
serve
they were not to get close.
That's correct.
British Empress is in the chat room, and she's saying condolences to you,
Thank you very much.
Mona, and your family, Morna. And as I said, we are down with our viewership tonight, but we are recording this conversation. It is a very, very sad time for you because you buried your brother yesterday. So it's still very fresh, very raw, and all of the emotions we understand. We don't want to dwell on what's an ongoing situation, because I understand that there is current litigation which is currently ensuing in Jamaica.
That's correct.
You're getting ready to leave, to travel to Jamaica to try and insert yourself into a situation.
That's correct.
Why? What's driving you to do that? What's your reason?
My purpose, the music has to go on, because that's what my father wanted, and he wanted us to take it to another level. And Junior also is making it worse now, because, as I say, we both had dreams to take StudioOne to another level with the siblings. but I don't know if it's lack of understanding or they've got no, I don't know. I don't think they're business people. I personally don't think they're business people. If this would not have happened, if there were people with a mindful in business that could see the bigger picture, what the lot of us as family, because one man cannot row the boat. If you have a business, you need cleaners, you need
janitors,
you need service people, everything, and everybody plays
has a role,
and everybody's part is as important as the janitor,
the least.
So it's not about who is in control, it's that we should form a working partnership together, and that's what I would like, and that's what Junior wanted. This man had unconditional love, and even when they were hating him, he was loving them. And in the Bible it tells you about when you love your enemies, what happens. So they better beware, because Junior loved them unconditionally.
Wow. Powerful words there from Morna Dodd, the daughter of Clement Dodd, who's here representing her father, essentially. She's talking about her recent loss, and that is the sad news last week of the passing of Clement Dodd Jr., her brother. So in the midst of sorrow, she's picking up her brother's fight, so to speak, inserting herself, standing in his stead as a representation of not just himself, but her father, the great Coxsone Dodd, Studio One founder. Peter, I want you to just step up to the mic. I don't know which mic, if you want to use my headset. We can actually hear you from there. Wow. Speak again. I like it. Of course, Peter G., my musicologist, is in the studio with me, and it was just fascinating for me driving in to listen to the conversation between Morna and Peter, and the things that they were talking about. And you can tell from Morna that her main wish and her main purpose really is to carry on her father's legacy. It's sad that the family members can't come together and remember that is really the driving force, not anybody's ego or money, because as we see, when you die, you don't take one thing with you. Naked you come into the world, and naked you shall depart. There's no hearse that's coming. There's no U-Haul truck. Was there a U-Haul truck behind Junior's hearse?
Nothing.
Was there any money or anything thrown down into the...
Nothing. Oh yes, I put a Man United t-shirt in his coffin because he was a lover of Man United.
Wow.
And also a program of my son's funeral went in. That's all that he went with.
Silence here, because it's very, very emotional in the studio. So I think we need to play another track. Did we bring those CDs in, Peter, from the car that Morna gave us? Okay, so we need to... You got it in your bag? So we'll go get it in a second. But we're playing Studio One this evening. We were to do a tribute because, of course, it is February, it is Black History Month, and we wanted to pay tribute to Malcolm X, who 50 years ago, yesterday, was executed, was assassinated in Harlem at the Audubon Ballroom. We wanted to talk about a little bit about Malcolm X's life, but because of the very, very late start, we had to forego that. We'll try and pick up that next week because it was very, very important while Morna is here to speak to her. And following up on what she wants to do to keep her father's legacy alive, we've got some breaking news. That's going to be a Conduit exclusive, and we have some music that we're going to feature, which I don't know has been featured in New York yet. I'm not sure.
It hasn't been featured in New York.
So it's another Conduit exclusive, but because the Studio One catalogue is so vast, we're going to just play some Studio One music right now, and then we're going to come back with Morna in conversation with Sheron P. and Peter G. So, Peter, what have you got lined up for us? I know you've got some crisp... Crisp biscuits. Okay. All right. We need to get Peter some more glasses, I think. All right. Okay. So we're going to stop talking for a while.